So, you want some strip lights to modernize your home, and you've got an idea of what look you're after, but you don't know what to buy or how to put it together. Because strip lights aren't like light bulbs where you just buy it and plug it in. There are several different components that you need, and it can be a bit of a minefield knowing what to buy. But luckily, you're in the right place. And today, I'm going to be walking you through the process of how to buy single color LED strip lights. Now, this video is designed to walk you through how to put your order together step by step. So feel free to put me on pause, go and find the component that you need, and resume the video once you're ready to carry on. So the easiest place to start is at the strip light itself and work backwards to the power supply. So let's start there, at the strip light. So step one is to measure the length of tape that you need and consider what it's going to be for. So for example, if you're looking for strips to go under your kitchen cabinets, you'll want a nice bright strip like our 8-watt cool white tape. Or if you're looking for something to light up your living room, you'll want to go for a brighter but softer light like our 14-watt warm white strip. Either way, the most important thing here is measuring and noting the length, as this will dictate a lot of what comes next. Step two is connecting your single color tape to the next component. And for this, you'll need some 2-core cable. This is cable that has 2 copper wire connectors on its end. Now, our single color tape comes with 10 centimeters of 2-core cable on its end as standard, which for most people is more than enough. However, if you need more, for instances where there will be a greater distance between your tape and your power supply, you can just let us know when you place your order, and we can add a longer length onto the end of your tape for a small additional charge. Step 3 is deciding whether you want a controller with your tape or not. If you know that you don't need one, you can skip ahead to the chapter where we discuss single color tapes without controllers. But if you do want a controller with your tape, we'd strongly recommend our EasyLight 5-in-1 Wi-Fi controller, as it gives you the flexibility to use a compatible remote or your phone, which also lets you use Alexa or Google Assistant too. To connect them, you just take your 2-core cable on the end of the tape, which will either be 2 white cables with a black band running down one, or a red and black colored cable, and screw them into the output end of the controller. The negative core, so the white cable with the black band, or the black cable, depending on which one you have, inserts into the CW terminal, and the other core, the plain white or the red, depending on which one you have, inserts into the V+ terminal. Step 4 is picking out the correct power supply. By correct, I mean the correct voltage and a power supply that can handle the load of the tape that you want. Voltage is easy. If you're buying our Aeon LED tape, you'll need a power supply that's 24 volts. And wattage is also easy. We can get this using a really simple calculation. Remember when we measured the length of tape that we needed right near the beginning of this video? This is where that length becomes important. So, all you do is take the length of the tape needed and multiply it by the watts per meter of your chosen tape. And that gives you the total wattage of your installation. For example, let's say you need 3 meters of tape and you've decided that you need our 8-watt cool white strip. You would simply multiply 3 meters by 8 watts, giving you a total of 24 watts. So when you pick out your power supply, you just need to ensure that it has a max capacity of at least 24 watts. We'd actually recommend going a little bit higher than this and leaving a 10% leeway between the wattage and the max load. This is to protect the longevity of both the tape and the power supply. Anyway, now that you have your max load, you can now pick out a power supply. And here you have 2 choices: plug-in or hardwired. Plug-in power supplies using our AC/DC power adapters are super easy, as it just plugs into any standard wall socket and the other end plugs directly into the 5-in-1 controller, at which point you're done. So to recap for this setup, where you want a controller and a plug-in power supply, you'll need your tape, 2-core cable, Remember, you'll get 10 centimeters as standard with your tape, an EasyLight 5-in-1 Wi-Fi controller, and an AC/DC power adapter. If you wanted a hardwired power supply though, you will need a couple of additional accessories. You'll need some more 2-core cable for a start, and you'll also need 2 of these Wago connectors. The positive core of your 2-core cable will insert into the V+ terminal of your controller, and your negative core into the V- terminal, with the other end of your core cable connected to your power supply using the Wago connectors. One connector will have the positive cables from your core cable and your power supply connected together, and the other Wago connector will have the negative cables connected together from your core cable and your power supply, which, once done, is ready to be connected to your mains power supply by a qualified electrician, and you're done. So, to recap this setup, where you want a controller with a hardwired power supply, you'll need your tape, 2-core cable. Remember, you'll get 10 centimeters as standard with your tape, an EasyLight 5-in-1 Wi-Fi controller, some more 2-core cable, 2 Wago connectors, and the correct hardwired power supply. Now, for those that don't want or need a controller with their tape, you'll need to calculate the max load that you need from your power supply, which, if you missed it earlier on in the video, is your length of tape in meters multiplied by the watts per meter of the tape that you want. So if you need 3 meters of tape and you need our 8-watt cool white tape, you'll need a power supply that can handle at least 24 watts. Just also ensure that you've got the correct voltage too, which, if you're buying our Aeon LED tape, you'll need a 24-volt power supply, at which point you'll need to ask one question: plug-in or hardwired? If you're after a hardwired setup, all you'll need from here are 2 Wago connectors. One for connecting the negative cores from your tape and power supply, and another for connecting the positive cores, at which point you're done, and your tape can be connected to your mains power supply by a qualified electrician. Let's quickly recap this setup, which involves the tape and a hardwired power supply. You should have your tape, some 2-core cable. Remember, you'll have 10 centimeters as standard with your tape, 2 Wago connectors, and of course, the correct load power supply. If you want to go plug-in, however, then you'll need an extra accessory, depending on whether you opted for some extra 2-core cable right at the beginning of this video. If you went for the standard 10 centimeters of 2-core cable, then you'll need to add a female pigtail adapter to your order. This will be soldered onto the end of your tape before we send it out, and connects directly to your plug-in power supply. Whereas if you opted for a longer length of 2-core cable, you'll need to add a female quick connector to your order. The 2-core cable on the end of your tape inserts into the positive and negative terminals on the quick connector, which then plugs directly into your plug-in power adapter, at which point simply plug it into your mains power supply and flick it on. So to recap this setup, where you have your tape with a plug-in power adapter, you'll need your tape, some 2-core cable. Remember, you'll get 10 centimeters as standard with your tape, and if you opted to keep the standard 10 centimeters, you'll need a female pigtail adapter, whereas if you opted for a longer length, you'll need a female quick connector, and finally, the correct AC/DC power adapter. Now, if you're still having trouble putting your basket together, or if you are looking for a more complex installation with multiple runs, or lengths over 10 meters, then speak to our team of experts who can put together a free, no obligation quote for you. So just pick up the phone and give us a call on 0116 321 4121, or send us an email to sales@ledstriplights.co.uk. You can also get in touch on our Facebook or Instagram pages too. Just DM us the word quote and we can help point you in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.